bust in the Freeport area early Thursday morning. I'm Sabrina Brown. That story straight ahead.
Thurs College expanding its associate degree program to include one of the most in-demand professions. That story straight ahead.
The Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition starts now.
Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, it is being described as an historic development for healthcare on Grand Bahama and for the nursing profession. Beginning this fall, a local tertiary institution will begin offering training for persons interested in the nursing field. This, health officials hope, will help to bring a greater focus to the need for healthcare workers in the country.
Nursing students from around the country now have a second option when it comes to pursuing an associate's degree in the profession. For some 8 years now, President and CEO of Thurs College, Terrence Archer, says they've been working behind the scenes to bring the program to fruition. Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, toured the new nursing lab and says he was impressed with the quality of the facilities and equipment. He adds that this is a major benefit to the healthcare industry here on Grand Bahama.
What is in great demand here on the island of Grand Bahama is the need for training in allied health. I've spoken to the academic committee here at Thurs, and I'm sure in the months and years to come they will develop special programs that will meet the necessary human resources need at the Rand Memorial Hospital. As you are aware, the Rand Memorial Hospital is now expanding its services, and by expanding its services, we intend to make sure that when we roll out national health insurance in 2016, the infrastructure at the Rand Memorial Hospital, as well as all our peripheral clinics, will be at a standard necessary to provide these services. But we must take into consideration the human resources and the manpower resources needed at the Rand Memorial Hospital in order for it to function.
Archer says that the nursing lab is fully equipped with quality training aids that will give students real hospital scenarios and real case studies to deepen their knowledge.
We wanted to create a program where you start here, you finish here. And so today we wanted to have a viewing of what we have put in place to facilitate nursing students interested in coming to Thurs to do an RN program where they start with us and they finish with us. It's a 3-year program at the associate's degree level, and once the program would have started second year, we would then make application to have it upgraded to the bachelor's level.
The program is set to begin this fall 2015 and is already in high demand. Thurs also has some partnerships in the works to ensure the success of future students.
We've made the RAND aware of wanting to form an articulation with them, an MOU, for our students to be able to go into the RAND for viewing and their practical training. We're waiting for them now to indicate to us when we can start that dialogue. Sunrise Medical Center also have begun talking with us for the same type of arrangement. The Kidney Center has already given us their written approval of allowing our students to come there and to do their observations. And so we feel that at the end of the day, we would have a good working relationships with these establishments where our students now can go and get real life exposure to what they want to do.
Administrator for Grand Bahama Health Services, Sharon Williams, also part of today's tour. She says this is a major plus for Grand Bahamians.
That is important for Grand Bahama. Most of our nurses right now comes from Nassau. It is difficult in a lot of instances for those nurses who train in Nassau and who are from Nassau to relocate to Grand Bahama. We will, for the future in the next 4 years, and looking forward, have a pool of nurses on Grand Bahama to choose from.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
The Ministry of Grand Bahama Duty-Free Unit continuing to educate residents on the tax-free concessions for residents of East and West Grand Bahama. The team took the message to the Rotary Club of Freeport today as they shared the government's plan to spur economic growth by expanding and empowering small businesses in the outlying areas. Officer in charge of the Duty-Free Unit, Conrad Jones, addressed those in attendance.
Inside the port area, the Hawksbill Creek Agreement allows for your businesses to be able to flourish in an environment that is considered to be tax-free. And so what the government has thought to do in this process is to cause more economic growth to happen in East and West Grand Bahama to create to kind of create a small offshoot for duty-free concessions to allow those businesses that's outside of the port area that does not have access to particularly the Hawksbill Creek Agreement to be able to tap into some form of duty-free concessions so that they too will have the ability to save on the capital costs in regards to importation of duties to be able to reinvest back into their enterprises.
Now, Jones says so far the program is receiving tremendous feedback from residents in that area.
We have being able to deal with businesses, some of which in East and West Grand Bahama that has been closed for a number of years, some of which, as you know, were affected by stuff as far back as the hurricanes and never had an opportunity to be able to reopen. And I'm glad to say that because of this particular exemption and them being able to save on capital, duty, there's a number of them that has had the opportunity to start to reinvigorate their businesses and inject new life and hire 1 or 2 persons.
Now, this initiative is being policed by the Customs Department unit. Jones is encouraging other business owners in the area to sign up and receive these benefits. In other news, the Department of Housing of the Ministry of the Environment and Housing, in conjunction with the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, held a half-day life-enhancing skills workshop at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture's office today. The workshop, the first in a series of sessions on life-enhancing skills and home ownership, is designed to further provide necessary training and exposure to Ministry of Housing personnel. The aim is to expose persons who deal with tenants in government-related places to various techniques and skills in order to be more proficient at performing their role in dealing with the public and providing needed assistance. Personnel were briefed by presenters from the Department of Social Services, the Public Treasury, Bahamas Mortgage Corporation, Urban Renewal, and Health Outreach on topics that could be useful in administering their duties, such as how to approach government-required payments, neighborhood cleanliness, and its impact, and keeping children focused educationally and socially. In other news, the Minister of Foreign Affairs giving an update on the country's move towards e-passport compliance. It has been a work in progress for some time now, but the minister responsible says the country appears to be on target.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Immigration, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, is not only advocating the increase in some immigration fees, but on another front, the minister is also pushing ahead with full compliance as relates to the electronic passport this year.
This is 2015, and November is the deadline, so, fast approaching. And so people should, but already people who've been trying to get into the United States using these handwritten passports are being told by the people at the pre-clearance lounge that essentially this will be your last time being able to use it. You got to change the passport. So I think the faster people get that done, the better.
Not only have United States officials become more vigilant, but Bahamian immigration officials at the various ports as well. Officials are on the lookout for another growing sector of persons. These individuals not only live but work illegally here in the Bahamas.
The complaints are that people simply seem to believe that you can operate in the country without the proper immigration permission and paperwork, and that needs to change. And you also have people who come in as tourists and then begin working in high-profile jobs, all the while pretending that they're tourists, and that must come to a stop.
Minister Mitchell says whether it's an immigration or passport issue, both agencies are fully equipped when it comes to enforcing the laws.
The fact is if you are a non-national living in the Bahamas, you need to have the passport of your nationality and something which indicates that you have the permission to be here from immigration. That's a simple thing.
John Davis Rowe, ZNS Network News.
Well, a major drug bust in the Freeport area early this morning has landed a group of Bahamian men behind bars. Our Sabrina Brown went along with the police to the alleged drug house today, and she took a closer look at the illicit operation.
Officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit began their surveillance of this duplex on Fawcett Lane early Thursday morning after receiving information that suspected drugs was being sold from this location.
They were able to apprehend 3 Bahamian male suspects and seize a quantity of suspected illegal drugs, in particular marijuana, along with a quantity of cash. We would like to add that this effort here this morning is one that could not have been a success without the community's help.
The officer in charge of the Drug Enforcement Unit gave members of the media a detailed tour of the crafty operation inside what appears to be a dwelling place from the front side of the building. Upon inspecting the premises, officers discovered surveillance cameras, vicious pit bulls, and barbed wire fence covered with black tarp, all in an effort to keep police at bay.
It's a vacant, abandoned building. The door there is always locked. There's a proper lock on the door. The only purpose for this building is to gain access to the rear, where this drug shop operates. We have been to this location here just last year, in fact, and you will notice what I can pull here. And our difficulty was this. This here, you can't bust this, you can't knock this down. Once they lock this, they get all day in there to get rid of what they have. That's to get rid of the drugs. So this was specifically placed here just for the purpose to prevent the police from getting inside. Persons come on the outside to purchase. The seller here will sign up on this, pass the drugs over, get the money, take the money inside the building to the rear.
Acting Assistant Superintendent of Police Advardo Dame says the drug house has been in operation for years, and although it has been raided several times before, it continues to pose a challenge for authorities. He says they're working to keep this illegal operation out of business.
We plan to sustain our presence in the area. We plan to work with other partners and stakeholders within the community with an effort to bring a final resolution and conclusion to this particular environment. We want to appeal to other members within the Grand Bahama community where this activity is going on. The police cannot and will not be able to identify these locations unless it is brought to our attention.
The 3 Bahamian men are assisting police with their investigation. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us, The Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition continues right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. A local committee joining in the government's thrust to grow the agricultural sector in the country and decrease the dependency on imports. The Committee for the Grand Bahama Agribusiness Expo 2015 announcing plans set for March 27th and 28th. Chairperson for the expo is Administrator Brenda Bullard Colebrook.
Our country's ever-increasing import bill is a driving force behind developing agriculture in the Bahamas. Indeed, with hundreds of millions of dollars being spent on food import annually, we need to cut our dependency on foreign imports and do more to feed our people and the millions of tourists who come to our shores. I think many of us will recall the food shortage crisis that affected us after the more recent hurricanes and other global events, which also heightened the need for food security. Like our Prime Minister has said, making strides toward food security in the 21st century is a necessity, not a luxury.
Colberg says with a number of key persons from both the public and the private sector assisting in the planning, this year's event promises to be a grand opportunity for local farmers to showcase their produce.
We are inviting farmers, fruit, vegetable, and livestock, food processing, marine resources, ornamental plants, handicraft, root crop, and other producers to take advantage of this wonderful opportunity to display and sell their goods. We are planning a fantastic opening involving many of the schools on Grand Bahama, and we expect that the Minister for Agriculture and Marine Resources will be in Grand Bahama.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas Northern Service promoting healthy lifestyles during the month of March. It's the 19th consecutive promotion for ZNS Northern Service. This program aims to educate and to inform the community on the benefits of establishing a health-conscious society. Next month, free health screenings will be offered every Wednesday by the Grand Bahama Health Services. The screenings will take place in the canteen of the Harold de Gregory Complex from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Programming will also take on a health spin as health professionals will discuss a wide range of health topics. The shows will be aired on 8:10 a.m. and 104.5 FM beginning on March 2nd. TV 13 will also produce a series of shows every Monday and Friday evening during the month of March. Here's Deputy General Manager Stanley Pittner.
We are inviting all of our people in the north, whether it's in East or West Grand Bahama, Abaco, Bimini, Berry Islands, to get involved in this healthy lifestyle month. We invite them to listen into our special programming, watch our special shows, get involved in fixing their health, making sure that they're healthy during this month. And also we're asking them in their communities, if they would this year, to arrange your own walk to coincide with what's going on here.
The highlight of the month-long celebration will be a fun run and walk and a mini health fair.
Fun run walk will be held on March 21st, Saturday at 6 a.m. Our race coordinator is Mr. Bert Bell. Forms are available now if you're interested in participating. We have some wonderful prizes for our first, second, and third place finishers. And come to the mini health fair as well. We're going to do screenings right after the fun run walk. So after all, your health is your wealth. So come on down and march for health.
Well, the corporation encourages all residents to offer support to these events. Meantime, members of the Legends Marching Band getting ready for a big performance in a matter of days. Band leaders are grateful for the opportunity for its young band members to show off their skills. Here's Kimberly Mullings with this report.
The Legend Marching Band will be attending the 2015 Black History Month Parade in Atlanta. 60 band members will get the opportunity to participate in the cultural show and march on February 27th and 28th. The trip is sponsored by the Bahamas Consulate in Atlanta. Band leader Leslie McDonald says the members are looking forward to representing the Bahamas with a snare drum and a goatskin 1-2.
As we are now taking the Jungle to Black History Month, and this will be the first time the Jungle Group will be performing, because we have more than 90% of the band members performing Jungle. So what we are doing, we're taking all the band members who perform Jungle to Atlanta.
Having been around for a decade now, McDonald feels that it says a lot for the Legend Band to receive the invitation again to headline the parade.
It's to say a lot about the Bahamas, because you know the Bahamas is involved with the Black History Month, where the NAACP is really head of this. And Mr. Lester is the president of this Black History Month parade. Last year when we played at the Martin Luther King Church, our band was the first marching band to play.
Tanis Robinson, band member turned secretary, says this loyal band, whose motto is one band, one sound, one family, has benefits to it, like confidence building and opportunities for exposure.
Once you're here at practice, you just can't sit still once the band starts up. And I have my daughter, who's now off to school because of the band music, and I have a son, and I have a grandson who's in the band.
Robinson is hopeful that the streets of Atlanta won't be the same when the members, especially the children, are finished showcasing our Bahamian talent.
A lot of them is their first time going. Like last year, there were brothers who was their first time ever leaving the island. We had those who were the first time going to one of the family islands. That was his first time traveling. And so the kids, you know, they're multi-talented. So a lot of them have their Junkanoo outfits from the holiday that they're waiting to go over there and show off to. So they go from blowing their horns, and some just beat the drums.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Day job, Kimberly. That's a check on stories making news. Stay with us. Sports is up next. Topping sports, the Derek Nesbitt and Obi Welshcombe Senior Boys Basketball Finals has been the talk of the town. Game 2 played last night at the St. George's Gym. Let's go courtside with Megan Shepard.
The Tabernacle Falcons entered Game 2 facing elimination down 1 to the Sunland Stingers and took the action to Sunland. The Stingers had some issues at the charity stripe and it would be costly. Here comes Tabby attacking Cedric Delancey, making his presence felt. The size advantage in the paint for Sunland and the hustle with Tyler Davis making it count and a 22-point outing. The quick timeout by Tabernacle with just seconds on the clock and needing a win. 65-64, the Falcons up in the ball game. Sunland's ball and gets it across the timeline, but watch the ball handle left foot, steps out of bounds and the crucial turnover. Raheem Lang is fouled and in the bonus makes the first. Raheem, leading the Falcons with 23 points, makes the second. The gameplay for Tabernacle played defense, says Coach Bain. Coach Philippe and his Stingers need a basket and quick. 4 seconds on the clock and it's Stingers' ball. The turnover as time runs out and Tabby holds on 67-64. Coach Bain said it came down to basic basketball and a game 3.
I told them just play hard, give it their best effort. Try to do the things which you practice, because I believe the game is only what you practice. And so even in the last possession, I said they're telling me all this other stuff, and I'm like, hold on, guys, do what you practice. If you do what you practice, you execute your discipline, you'll get a stop, and that's what happened. And Sunland is a good team, very good team. And we're battling our pants off to try to beat them. And I want to invite the entire community out on Friday. Come watch a good basketball game.
Coach Philippe said his guard play was costly.
Hats off go to Tabernacle first of all. They played an awesome game. Great strategy by Coach Bain and his players. But it's a good series. You know, we expected it to go 3 games. It's the best basketball that we have in Grand Bahama. So moving forward, I think my guys need to prepare themselves for this final game and go back to the drawing board again and make some adjustments for game 3. But I think defensively, my guys kind of let me down tonight. You know, we are one of the better defensive teams, and I don't think the energy was there tonight. So coming into game 3, we need to be more physical, and we need to dictate the tempo of the game instead of Tabernacle.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Total Sports.
Also in sports, a number of athletes from Grand Bahama, because of their skills and abilities, have been thrust into the international spotlight, and some signing contracts to play at a professional level. Joan Davis Rolls spoke with a person who wants to ensure that these Bahamian athletes are treated fairly.
The Bahamas has a female certified sports agent. She's Grand Bahama's Jackie Roll. With a number of Bahamian athletes in track and field, baseball, basketball, and other sporting disciplines reaching professional status, the future, she says, looks bright.
I've been preparing since 2006. And last year I just stepped out and decided, you know, God said, this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to focus on. I love what I do. You know, when people hear, hey, you're a sports agent, yes. You know, I'm FIBA certified. I can represent basketball players all around the world. I'm NFL certified. I can represent NFL players and also WNBA.
Rose says she underwent intense training and her passion for sports has made a difference.
I realized that there are a lot of Bahamians with a lot of talent, and sports is one of my passions. I love sports. I love talking about it. And I realized that there was nobody representing our athletes. And I realized that a lot of them were going to agents in Canada, in Europe, in America. And I just sat down one day and I was just talking to God, and I was like, why are all these players and all these athletes going overseas? And God was like, because nobody else is doing it here. And from then, that vision just started, and you know, over the years, I've just been doing a lot of preparation, working a full-time job, and just doing a lot of preparation and preparing myself for this time.
Roll notes that there has been some interest shown by Bahamian athletes, some of whom are playing in the big leagues, including the NFL, the NBA, along with other leagues in the United States and Europe. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Joan Davis Roll.
Thanks, Joan, and that's a check on sport.